Good morning, everybody. I am Monice Moody, and today my colleagues and I, Kalesa Reed, as well as Shanoy Grady, will be discussing the World Food Summit of 1996, specifically where the conference was held, how many countries were there, what led to the need for this conference, what were its specific objectives, and the achieved policies of the conference. Did you know that there are over 840 million undernourished people living in developing countries and millions more in developed countries? Most people believe that the world food shortages are due to us not producing enough food to feed the world's entire population, but that's certainly not the case. The growing global population, climate change, rising food prices, and other environmental stressors have had significant impacts in creating uncertainties, as well as contributed to the unequal distribution of the Earth's food supply. You may be wondering, can't we just produce more food? But the issues around food security are way more complex, to say the least. Food security exists when all people at all times have the physical, social, and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food that meets their food preferences and dietary needs for an active and healthy lifestyle. Which means that there needs to be a stable supply of healthy food that is accessible, which individuals can utilize, since this is a basic human right. And thus achieving food security was the main aim of the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations when deciding to hold the first food summit, which took place from the 13th to the 17th of November in 1996 in Rome, Italy, which was attended by representatives from 186 countries, including Russia, China, Brazil, and the United States of America.
So in 1996, the summit goal was to renew global commitment at the highest political level to end hunger and malnutrition and provide long-term food security for all people around the world. The summit's high profile has boosted awareness among public and private sectors, decision makers, the media, and the general public. So what they did was to establish the political, conceptual, and technical framework for a long-term campaign to end hunger in all nations with the goal of halving the number of undernourished people by the year of 2015. So what happened was that the Rome Declaration set forth several commitments which lays the basis for achieving sustainable food security for all, and the plan of action spells out the objectives and the action relevant for practical implementation of these commitments. So, at the individual, household, national, regional, and global levels, the Rome Declaration on World Food Security and the World Food Summit plans of action establish the groundwork for a variety of approach to a common goal, which is food security. So, in order to obtain this particular goal of food security, so now each nation must select a plan that is compatible with its resources and capacity, while also cooperating regionally and international to coordinate solution to the global issue of food security.
Some objectives of the World Food Summit are: 1. To ensure that food supplies are safe, physically and economically accessible, appropriate, and adequate to meet the energy and nutrient needs of the population. 2. Implement, where appropriate, cost-effective public work programs for the unemployed and underemployed in regions of food insecurity. 3. Develop within available resources well-targeted social welfare and nutrition safety nets to meet the needs of the food insecurity, particularly people in need, children, and the infirm. 4. develop policy making, legislative, and implementation processes that are democratic, transparent, participatory, empowering, responsive to changing circumstances, and most conducive to achieving sustainable food security for all. 5. Promote and strengthen well-functioning legal and judicial systems to protect the rights of all people. 6. Recognize and support indigenous people and their communities in their pursuit of economic and social development with full respect for their identity, traditions, forms of social organization, and cultural values. And lastly, the 7th objective is to promote the national and regional food security policies and programs of developing countries, particularly in regards to their staple food and supplies, as well as support the continuation of the reform process in conformity with the Uruguay Round Agreement and ensure that developing countries are well informed and equal partners in the process.